and welcome to today's live English lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel with me, Richie. I hope you're all doing well on this very hot, very sunny afternoon. There's a bit more light in today's video. I've got natural light and I have studio light, so that should be good enough. I've also got my microphone. So hopefully that should be a little bit better as well. In today's lesson, we are going to look at using modal verbs. Which modal verbs should we use? And it's a great question because modal verbs can be quite difficult. So that's what we're going to look at today. If this is your first time or you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our channel and like and share our videos as well. Now, today is the last lesson for this week. There won't be a lesson tomorrow or Friday. And then next week, I will let you know what the timetable is to see what is realistic for me to do this over the summer period. Especially July. July is going to be a really busy month here at AM Language, so I might not be able to give a daily live lesson every day, at least for 40 minutes. I might have to compromise and maybe just give a very short daily live lesson. That's always an alternative. Irina says hello, and Francesca says hello, good afternoon. So, yes, Privyet and Botage, Francesca, good afternoon. Leondina says, hi, Richard, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, yeah, I think from next week, one of the things I might do is, because it's important to still give sort of like come out with some lessons. So, one of the things I might do is, because I don't think I'm going to be able to give 40-minute lessons. So if I do daily lessons every day next week, they're going to have to be shorter. I might have to shorten it by a little bit. So I'll let you guys know on Monday what the plan is for the month of July. Evelina, hi, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Buon pomeriggio. Tutto bene? So let's get into it. We're looking at modal verbs, and the first thing we need to think about, okay, is which modal verbs do we use? And for this, we need to think about what's the category of the modal verbs. Okay. So first of all, let's look at the following. We've got will. All right, tutto bene, grazie, says Evelina. Excellent, very good. So we've got will, we have ought to, we've got should, we've got would, could, can, might, and may. Okay. So what I would like you guys to do is this. I want you to put them into a certain category. Okay. So the first category is going to be 85% certainty. Okay, 85% certainty. And I'm always going to provide the context, okay, regarding an outcome, okay. Then we've got around about 75% probability. Okay, and again, we're talking about an outcome, okay? I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by an outcome. And then we've got anywhere between 40 and maybe 55, 45 and 55, let's go with that, possibility outcome. Can you tell again whether we'll be class tomorrow? Yes, Francesca, tomorrow and Friday, there won't be a lesson. So no lesson on Thursday, no lesson on Friday. because I am not going to have time to give a lesson on Thursday and Friday. Next week, though, I will be giving a daily live lesson at 4:30 on Monday afternoon. And on Monday afternoon, I will tell you guys what the plan is for the month of July. If I do give daily live lessons, they're not going to be for 40 minutes. I'll have to make them shorter. So we've got the modal verbs of will, ought to, should, would, could, can, might, and may. There are three categories: 85% certainty or more, 75% probability or more, or 45 to 55% possibility. I should have put a plus, by the way. Okay, so it's 85% plus, for example. Okay, that's what I wanted to put. That should be 85% plus, 75% plus for those two. Okay, now what is an outcome? An outcome is a result. So, e.g., if I'm writing about football, we might write Portugal will. It's like a prediction, for example. So we could say France will win the Euros, for example, or England should win the Euros, or we could say Italy might win the Euros. But these are examples of an outcome, okay? In this case, there's like, with an outcome, you're talking about a result, and sometimes if it's the future, you're talking about a future one. It's a prediction, meaning what you think will or should or could happen. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. So 85% plus, 75% plus, and 45 to 55% plus. So we now need to think about the categories, okay? So example answer, you might say for 44 to 55%, you might write could and can, for example. So that is what you can do. So please let me know what your answers are, okay? Please let me know what your answers are. So you've got 85% plus, 75% plus, and 45 to 55%. Okay. So like over here, pick your percentage and tell me which modal verbs go with which percentage. Okay, in terms of meaning. In some cases, we might think, okay, what about would? We always have to think of how we can use this language. So this is an example answer, 45 to 55%, and we could use could and can, e.g., France could win, for example, or England can win, or so it's a possibility of an outcome. Okay, so that's why we would say 45 to 55%. We could use could or can. But what about may and might? What about ought to and should? What about will and would? What do you guys think about this? Okay, so I'll give you guys just a few more seconds and let's see what your answers are. Okay. Right. I haven't seen any answers yet. Can you tell again? Yeah. So we're not looking, it's always important when you're thinking of modal verbs, you need to think about what are we doing? Are we talking about an outcome? Are we giving a request? Are we giving advice? Sorry, are we making a request? Are we giving advice? Because that's going to have a difference. So we need to think about what we're doing. In this case, we're talking about an outcome. Okay. Such as, oh, France could win. So today in the Euros, France are playing Portugal. So you might end up saying, if you don't know and you're just saying it's a possibility, you might say, France could win. Portugal are a very good team. So you'll also notice we're using positives. We aren't using negative modal verbs yet. So Leondina said for 85%, we would use will, ought to, should, would. 75% maybe might and may, and 45% we could use could and can. If you agree with Leondina, let me know. But if you have different answers, also let me know. Okay, thank you very much, Leondina. We will soon see if you are correct. Evelina says that she agrees with Leondina. Irina F. or Francesca, do you have similar thoughts, or do you think slightly differently? Okay. Obviously, we're not using words like I think, because if you put I think before a modal verb, that's going to change. Okay, thank you very much. So let me show you what the answers are. Okay. So for 85% plus, we're going to use will and would. Now, the examples here would be, because these are strong, okay? We would say, for instance, Germany will win, okay? Francesca thinks 100% is going to be ought to. Be going to. Yes, no, be going to, yes. If you use going to, that's going to be 100%. Yeah. Now, if I say will win, this really and truly, yes, it could be as low as 85%. But if I say Germany will win, that sounds very confident. That could be 95%. That could be even 100 in some cases. Yes, Francesca, that's correct. We use going to for 100%. So when we use will, just let's put it this way, okay? I think Germany will win. Okay, if I say this is about 85%. If I say Germany will win, this sounds confident. I'm probably about 95% over here when I use it like this, okay? But if I say Germany will definitely win, now I put in an adverb. See how this adverb is going to change? I'm going to say certainly. Will certainly win. Okay, let's go with certainly win. If I do this, this is now 100%. So see how playing around with will, for instance, with different words on either side can suddenly change the strength. If I put I think, it comes down to 85%. If I put will certainly win, so I put in the adverb, it's now going to be 100%. Now the other one I put here is would, and would is fairly similar. Now would, we're going to go with, it's always speaking hypothetically. But again, if I say I think Germany, if I think Germany would win, this is quite weak actually. And if I'm going to be totally honest, this is probably about between 75 and maybe 85%. Would can be probability. Okay, so this is a little bit more about probability at this stage. It's see how weak it is to say, I think Germany would win. But then if we say, oh, Germany would win, then all of a sudden this is like 85 to maybe even as strong as 95%. Okay. Now this is a certainty, more than just a probability. We're now saying this is more of a certainty. And again, look what I do when I put in the modal verb. Germany would certainly win. Okay. Now I've gone really, really strong. This is now, again, in this context, hypothetically, I'm now saying I'm 100% certain that hypothetically Germany would win. So see how this makes a difference. Now, the next answers that we can look at. We're going to go now with 75% probability, okay, the probability ones. And the probability ones, what we're going to look at here is should and ought to, okay? These are probabilities because this comes into our expectations, okay? Now, notice again, I'm going to play around with some words here. I think France should win. I put in should. I put in think. As soon as I put in think, this makes it quite weak. All of a sudden, if I just put in I think, okay, so Francesca, I can say, personally, I feel, you need the pronoun, I feel that France should win the Euros. Yes, that makes very good sense, and I'm going to show you what percentage that is. So if you say I think, we're now saying this is the weakest one because we put in I think. So when we put in I think, this weakens it. This is now 65 to 70%, to 70%. If I say, like you have done, for instance, France should win, okay, now I'm really talking about 75% to maybe 80. Well, yeah, about 75% actually. If you say, I feel France should win, I'm going to say, Francesca, if you say, I feel, that's probably going to be a bit like I think. Okay, so 65 to 70%. Now look what I do. France should certainly win. This is a strange one. France should certainly win. This is a strange one. If I've gone with should, I can't really get more than 80%. But I've added in this adverb, certainly. This shows I'm quite certain. And this is why this is at the top end. This is going to be about 85%. Okay, if I go with should certainly win, here I'm showing there's a strong expectation. Okay, this is a strong expectation. France should certainly win. So see how we can play around with this. Ought to is the same. Ought to, all of this is the same with ought to. Okay, France ought to win. This is a strong expectation. This is about 75%. So see how this works. Now, the 45 to 55% possibility. Here we are going to go with could, can, might, may, and might. Okay. So this is now the weaker categories. I'm going to show you how we can do this. Okay. Now could, can, and may are usually around the 50%. Might, this is probably a bit weaker. Might is about 40 to 50%. You can see here, might is the weakest. Might is going to be probably the weakest of these. But again, let me show you how we can do this. So I think England could win. Okay, this is now quite weak. This is 50%. Okay. Well, let's say 45 to 50%. Let's go with that. Okay. 45 to 50%. If I say, oh, yeah, England could win, this is straight up 50%. Now, if I say, well, I could say, true, England could certainly win. I'm now stating it's a real possibility, but I can't go higher than it being a possibility. So this is like 55%. So it's always going to be quite weak. Sorry, let me write that again because I've just noticed there's a spelling mistake. I don't want to confuse you guys. Okay, so again, see how the modal verb can change just slightly. We're only looking at this today in the positive sense. So you've got I think or I feel, and this weakens. Okay, this weakens the strength. Okay, weakens the modal verb. And if you put in an adverb like certainly, okay, that increases the strength. Okay, that increases the strength of the modal verb. Okay, you've got a few others that you could use. You've got certainly. You've got what are the ones that you could use that are similar to certain. Let's go with definitely. Definitely would be a good one. Okay, so I'm now going to give you a task. You guys now need to complete the sentences, but you've got to think in terms. I'm going to tell you which modal verb to use, but you need to play around with the strength. So, for example, okay, I might write she ought to win, okay? And then in brackets, I'm going to put the strength, and the strength here is going to be 65 to 70%, okay? This means the answer is going to be, I think she ought to win, okay? If I write, on the other hand, for example, let's say she ought to win, and you, actually, I might not, we're going to start off with this anyway. Let's say I say she ought to win, and I put all of a sudden 70 to 75%, for example, then the answer is going to be she ought to certainly, no, she ought to win. Okay. And then finally, for example, if I write she ought to win, so the answer, there's no change there. And then finally, if I put she ought to win and I put 75 to 80%, then your answer is going to be right. She ought to certainly win. Okay. So that is how this activity is going to work. Okay. Okay. So that's the way this activity is going to work. Look at the percentage of the strength, and then you need to think about, do I add I think, I feel, do I make no changes, or do I add an adverb? Okay, let's do this. So, okay, 2, 3, let's go with good. 1, 2, 70%. 5, okay, so you've got 6 questions here. Have a little think and see if you can put in the correct answers. In some cases, you might need to add I think or I feel. In other cases, you might need to add in certainly or definitely. And in other cases, no change. Let's see what you guys go with, okay? So you've got he will win the game, 85%, and number 2, he will win the game, 100%. So different ends there. 3, she should win the competition. You've got 2 options. You've got 3, which is 75%, and then 4, same sentence but weaker, 65 to 70%. Number 5, they could lose the game today. That's 45 to 50. And finally, they may lose the game today, 50%. Okay, so have a think. When do you need to change? Do you need to change any of the sentences? Sorry, think about when you need to change the sentences and when you don't need to change anything in the sentence. At this point, I'm just thinking about the strength of the modal verb. And that's why you need to think about, do I add I think, I feel, certainly, definitely, or no, maybe I don't need to make any change to the sentence. So, further example, while I'm waiting for you guys, today Portugal play France. I think, I think that might be, I can't remember what I predicted in real life. I think I predicted France to beat Portugal. Or maybe I predicted a draw. I think I might have predicted it to be 2-2, but I'm probably wrong. Francesca says that number 2 is going to be, he will certainly win the game because it's 100%. Okay, Francesca, you're off to a good start there. Let's see what the other answers are. Leondine says he will win the game. 2, he will win the game definitely. Okay, I see what you've put. You've put definitely at the end. 3, she should win the competition. 4, I think she should win the competition. 5, I think they could lose the game today. Francesca says that for number 3, it should be, she should certainly win the competition. Okay, right. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you guys just a bit more time to come in with as many of the answers as possible, and then we'll look at the answers. It's always good to leave your answers. Leondina says 6. They may lose the game today. So no change there. You're saying that 50%, it should just remain like that. No change. Francesca says, I feel they may certainly lose the game today. Wow, okay, that's an interesting one. I feel, making it weaker, they may certainly lose the game today. That's a strange one. I'm going to say, because you've added 2 elements. So, yeah, I think that's, which one it does, yeah, I would say definitely 50% for that one. I feel they may certainly lose the game today. Although, I don't know, I think you're saying there's a strong feeling. I mean, if anything, you're saying that you have a strong feeling. So maybe it's a bit stronger than 50. Maybe because of the certainty, we should just still say that's about 55%. Okay, so I'll tell you what the answers are. Number 1. Okay. It's 85%, so I think he will win. Okay, so that's 85%. Number 2, correct. That's going to be he will certainly win. Okay, you can do that. Typically speaking, okay, on the subject of adverbs, usually it's modal verb, adverb, verb, okay? But like Leondina has done here, can you put the adverb at the end, like Leondina? He will win the game definitely. In this case, no. I mean, you can end sentences with the adverb. You can put adverbs at the end of sentences. But in such a short sentence, I would encourage you to put the modal verb between I would encourage you to put the adverb after the modal verb. That's always going to be a little bit better. Okay, number 3, we've got she should win the competition. And yeah, that's correct. No change. She should win the competition. So no change to the sentence. Number 4, you guys have said, I think she should win. Yeah, this is weaker. So I think she should. Yeah, this is going to have to be 65 to 70. We then got 5. They could lose the game today. 45 to 50. For number 5, I would say I think or I feel they could. Okay, that's going to be a little bit better. Number 6, no change. Yeah, no change for number 6. They may lose the game today. Yeah, no change. Okay, so those are the answers for that one. Let's go straight into another one. And now let's see what you go with. Okay, so for instance, example, and then I'm just going to put a blank. And then we're going to go with pass my exams. And then in brackets, I'm going to put 75%. Answer, this is when you're going to come out with, okay, if it's 75%, I'm going to say, I ought to pass my exams, okay? So that would then be the answer. I'll give you another one, okay? So another one, example, we'll go with, they could lose the game. It's 55%, so the answer is going to be They could certainly lose the game. Okay, so see what we're going with over here. So that's how this is going to work. Let's get into it. Sentence one. Two. And let's go number three. Okay, so I've only given you three sentences here. Think about the modal verb you're going to go with. Think about the percentage, and then think about, okay, do I need to put an adverb here? Do I need to put I think or I feel? What do you reckon? Maybe you need to change the way the sentence is written. So if you're going to put I think, you're going to put I think before you would say I think they. Okay, so you can do that. Or I feel they. So you can do that with this one. Okay, so we're coming to the end of today's lesson. So I'm only going to give you 3 more minutes, and then I will let you know what the answers are. But this sort of strategy is very good for developing your range of, well, your understanding of modal verbs, how to use them, when to use them. Now, we've only looked at one situation, and that is talking about results and outcomes. But modal verbs are used for a wide range of things. So this is only one way that we can use modal verbs. But when we use them, no matter what the category is, these rules remain the same. So Francesca says, one, I guess they will. Okay, you're giving me 2 different options. I guess they will. Okay, for number 1, okay, we're going for 100%. So if you put I guess, that makes it a bit weaker, but you have put definitely. So they will definitely win on Saturday. I'm going to accept that. They will certainly win on Saturday, says Leondina. I accept that as well. Number 2, 40 to 45%. Leondina has said, I feel they could not come to the wedding. They could not come. Okay. Yeah, okay. I feel they could not come. I feel they could not come. Yes, we could go with that. Yeah, I feel they could not come to the wedding. I don't know, it's a bit of a strange one because now I'm thinking about it. Maybe I gave you an unfair sentence. I feel they could. I know what the problem is here. I forgot to add an important word, okay? I feel they could choose not to come to the wedding. Okay, forget about 2. I forgot the importance of going with choose. Otherwise, we're going to go with couldn't. So it's not going to make sense there. But forget about 2. I made the mistake. I need to add choose. 3. Okay, 2. I think they might not come to the wedding. I feel they could not come to the wedding. I feel they might not come to the wedding. I think that's quite funny enough. That actually does make quite a lot of sense using might. So if we're going to go with 40 to 45, might is correct. If we're going to go with could, then we're going to have to introduce choose. So there's a bit of a change of language there. You guys presented me with a problem I didn't think about when I came up with that question. Evelina says certainly could would. Oh my gosh, certainly could would. Which one? We can't use could would like that, but let's see. Number 3. I feel the team should win on penalties. And Dina has said the team would definitely win on penalties. Interesting. Okay, let me give you the correct answers here. So number 1, you all got correct, okay? Will certainly, okay? That's going to have to be the answer. Okay, so number 2, okay, I think they might not win. That is correct. However, alternative answer. Okay, I'm going to give you the alternative, but we have to change something. Alternative, we could go with I think they could, if we go with this though, they could choose not to come. This is going to be more like this. Okay, so if you do want to go for this, we have to add in the word choose. But it's better to go with might. I think they might not come. And finally, 3, the team should certainly win. Okay, we're going to have to add in certainly. I mean, you can use I feel, but the adverb is going to take it to 75 to 80%. Okay, so that's the correct answer. So thank you very much for your answers today. Really well done. You all did very well here. Please make sure you like and share the video and subscribe if you're new. This is something you can start practicing. So after this lesson, when you're talking to friends, when you're looking at things on social media, think about modal verbs and try and use them. Try and use the modal verbs, and that will help. You need to speak, you need to write. It's so important to get into the habit of using these and create your own sentences and show them to your teacher. So a big thank you to everybody who participated in today's lesson. Francesca, Evelina, Leondina, Irina F. Thank you very much for your participation. And anyone else who's been watching. Leondina says, thank you, Richard, for this lesson. Have a nice weekend and see you on Monday. Thank you, Leondina. See you on Monday as well. Evelina, have a great evening. See you, Evelina. Yes, guys, don't forget, I'll be back on Monday. Irina F says, thank you. See you on Monday. Thank you, Irina F. And see you on Monday, says Francesca. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care. See you on Monday and bye for now.